Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Monica. I don't know about you, but in this season of the year, I love all things spooky. I love all things dark, and I love my paranormal romance just as much as I love my dark romances and my taboo and my suspenses, because I know what I like. I always wonder what other people like for their books. So I asked a bunch of my booktuber friends what they would recommend for dark romances and paranormal romances that we could recommend to you guys. So, and I got some great responses. So without further ado, here are their recommendations.
Hi guys, I'm Zay from Witty Reads, and today I'm going to be recommending a paranormal romance. So I love paranormal romance. It's one of my favorites to read around this time of year. And today I'm going to be recommending Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. This is the first book in the Stay a Spell series. So in this book, we're following Mateo. Mateo is a shifter, and he has been unable to shift for months, and his wolf Alpha is taking over, and he really needs to get control, try to figure out what's going on, why he hasn't been able to turn, and he possibly thinks that he might be cursed, so he finds himself in need of a hexbreaker or witch to help him, and he gets the help of Evie Savoy. She's a part of the Savoy Witch Coven, and she ends up helping him. Now, this is not something that is really allowed to happen. The werewolves and the witches are not really allowed to kind of interact in this way, but she ends up helping him to try to figure out what's going on and why he can't shift. And I really loved this book. This takes a departure from the kind of dark paranormal romance. It's definitely funnier. The humor is hilarious in this book. We have a interesting plot of trying to figure out what's going on with Mateo, but also we have this really fun romance between this nerdy witch and this like artist kind of shifter wolf, and I absolutely love this one. This is just such a great first book in this series, and I had the time of my life reading it, so I highly recommend it.
My name is Becky from Bex Reads. Monica so kindly asked me to participate in this video to recommend you one of my favorite paranormal or dark romances. So I went with a dark paranormal romance, the Nightshade Duology by Carrie Lake, Nightshade and Infernium. This is a very lengthy, my goodness, these books are about 600 plus pages each, so they are a commitment, but once I dove into them, I could not put them down. This is a dark, gothic, paranormal romance about Farron, who is searching for her father's soul in purgatory, or Nightshade as it is called, and when she is there, she ends up meeting this man named Jericho that she has this intense pull toward, and she doesn't know why. Meanwhile, Jericho knows there's something special about Farron, but he can't remember all that he's supposed to remember in order to know what is important about her. And throughout this series, we learn that there is some reincarnation aspects involved with their romance and how they are tied together. Some very dark religious cult aspects involved in here as well. There's angels and demons and the church as a backdrop. It's not like super duper dark because I don't do super duper dark romance, but this was just my level of dark. I loved the religious undertones of it and the cult aspect, and I loved the angels and demons aspects as well. So if any of that intrigues you, I highly recommend the Nightshade Duology by Carrie Lake. And thank you, Monica, for wanting my recommendation.
Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany. I go by Tip Talks Pages here on BookTube and Neverland Pixie on Instagram. And when I was asked for a favorite paranormal romance, I had to go with Hydrus by Amara Ray. Now, this is the second book, and I do not apologize for being that girl, because if you do pick up Lifeblood, I want you to continue. This is following Naya. She is the leader of her coven of hybrid witches, which is a faux pas in this world because, of course, they have amassed great power, and she's dropped into a challenge called out by a council of evil witches corrupt, if you will, that aim to take her out. And we learn that she is half fae, half witch. She has secret ties to the Winter Court that just so happens to be warring with the kingdom of the Blood King, who is at said challenge because there was a prophecy that his fated mate may be in attendance. And while he is witnessing Naya quite literally lay these hoes out, okay, in shield maiden fashion, he's attracted to the bloodlust as well as her curves, and he's not believing that she's his mate, but she'll do for an alliance. And so we've got an enemies to lovers between two leaders of their people bound by duty and honor who aren't checking for love, okay? They're not trying to fall, and yet he has this psycho sunshine disposition, and she is a grump, she's strategic, and she's really out here aiming to survive the political tension and help her coven survive the impending war upon all paranormal creatures. Okay, and Venador, the Blood King, is making it very difficult. He is a dirty talking dominant hero, and I loved their romance. So I hope you pick it up. I hope I didn't speak too long, and happy reading this spooky
Hi guys,
season.
it's Jess from the channel HonestFiction, and first off I want to say a huge thank you to Monica for asking me to be part of this collaboration. So at the moment, my favorite paranormal romance is Rabid by Ivy Asher and Raven Kennedy. This is a shifter romance, and it is so good. We are following Seneca, and Seneca is part of this very patriarchal werewolf pack, and her mother has recently passed away due to mysterious circumstances, and on top of all of this, the alpha of the werewolf pack really wants to claim Seneca as his mate, despite the fact that Seneca finds him absolutely repulsive and kind of suspects that he might have had something to do with her mother dying. So unfortunately, all this is taking place right before Seneca is about to undergo the flux, which is a ceremony where she will meet her wolf spirit and be able to become a shifter. Now, during the flux, the alpha ends up biting Seneca and messes up the whole ceremony, and Seneca and her wolf don't really bond correctly. So when Seneca shifts for the first time, it turns out that she is rabid, meaning she's pretty much attacking everyone and letting the wolf spirit kind of take control of her body. So the alpha, who is absolutely terrified now because he has this rabid werewolf in his territory, ends up drugging Seneca and dropping her off at this very dangerous part of the woods because that area is controlled by these very barbaric type werewolves who are known just to kill anyone that is found in their territory. And the story goes from there. It is super spicy, super fun. You won't be able to put this book down, and I highly recommend. Perfect for spooky season.
Hi, I'm Christy, and my channel is Christy Reads a Lot, and today I'm here with a dark romance recommendation for you. So this is Black Sheep by Lexa Harlow and Brandon Weaver, and this book is just so good. If you love the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey, then you're definitely going to enjoy this one. So this book starts off with a bang, literally like the heroine is killing somebody. So the heroine in this one is a serial killer. So this book deals with cults as well. So basically in this, the heroine is trying to track down this cult leader and take him out. And around at the same time, she ends up running into her forensic psychologist, who is the hero, and he's also working with the FBI and trying to track down said cult leader. So yeah, basically they're both hunting for the same person without knowing that they're both going for him at first. And so yeah, it's just so good. They're instantly pulled to one another because she is one of his students as well, one of his doctorate students at the school. So they're already kind of in each other's lives. The heroine is both pulled to him and also kind of wants to take him out. So they have kind of that going on as well. It's just so good. The heroine especially is super interesting. She has this like memory palace capability where she creates a palace in her mind and is able to put her memories in certain places. Just so interesting and so unique. Love this one so much. So yeah, definitely check out Black Sheep if you haven't
Greetings
yet.
and salutations. My name is Samantha from Books with Samantha, and the recommendation that I want to give for a perfect fall autumnal read is In This Iron Ground by Marina Vivancos. This is a paranormal shifter romance. It's a male-led romance. It follows our hero Damien, who after his parents' death is being sent to different foster homes. He ends up getting sent to a foster home that is very abusive. He is trying to escape that house. He goes into the forest and encounters a pack of werewolves. That's a huge found family trope, and he ends up bonding with the entire Salgado pack, but especially their older brother Hakan. It's a friends to lovers romance, but it mainly follows our hero Damien's personal journey as he's realizing that he is worthy of love and family. It is deeply emotional. It's written so beautifully in an almost therapeutic way, and I just feel like it is the perfect fall autumnal read.
I'm McKay, and one of my favorite recommendations for spooky fall season is a paranormal romance, and that is Her Soul to Take. The Souls trilogy as a whole, chef's kiss, but this one is where you start, and this one follows Ray and Leon, and it's a demon romance. Ray is new to this town. It's a little creepy. There's cults and stuff going on, and she's just trying to live her life, and she accidentally ends up summoning a demon who turns out to be Leon, and Leon is supposed to take her soul, but he can't help but become attracted to her, and it ends up being their romance. But if you like cults, if you like sacrifices, demons, there's a lot of spice in here, a lot of plot still in here, so good, and amazing side characters that you're going to want more of. You need to check out the Souls trilogy. So
my name is Nikki, and my channel is Nikki in Bookland, and my favorite dark romance is without a doubt Take Me With You by Nina G. Jones. I read this back in 2021, and this story has never left me. This one follows Vesper and Sam. I'm going to preface this by saying this is a super dark romance, so please look up the triggers. This is a captive romance, and I would say it's really pitch black. Follows Vesper and Sam. Vesper is a young nursing student who also helps take care of her little brother while her parents are away, and she still lives at home. And in the small town that they're living in, there's kind of stuff going on the news about this person who's breaking into houses. And she kind of gets the sense that she's being watched. And one night when she's with her boyfriend and watching her little brother, this person decides to break into her house. And in order to save her brother and her boyfriend, she tells the captor to take her with him. And the rest of the story is dark, it is pitch black, and the levels of Stockholm Syndrome is really intense. But if you're into captive, this is catnip. The writing is so good. Nina G. Jones is so talented at what she does. I did not know how this was going to end, and it's truly one of my favorite stories. If you haven't read Nina G. Jones, I highly suggest that you do. This is one of my faves. Wishing you all a very happy Halloween.
So to end, I'm going to end with my recommendation, Demon from the Dark. I originally was going to give you Lothair, which is book 16, but Demon After Dark is book 9 in the Immortals After Dark series. And if you know, I binged the entire series last year, from book 1 to Monroe's book, because Monroe came out last year. And I love this book. This is Malcolm Slade and Caro. Caro is a witch. This started out after the Order, which is a human organization that captured Lorians. That was from book 8, because this is book 9. The books do build up upon each other, so you really have to go from the first one. Anyway, so all Lorians from all factions were being caged, right? And she was taking care of this little girl named Ruby, was tasked to go through this portal to get this venom from Malcolm Slade. Malcolm is part demon, part vampire, right? Caro is a witch. Her powers derive from the happy emotions from people around her, so that's how she charges her energy. And here's the thing, she tries to bargain for her freedom and Ruby's freedom. However, Malcolm, he has such a sad backstory. Be aware of, there's a lot of trigger warnings from his past. He was sexually abused. He was physically abused. There was a lot of stuff. Anyway, he ends up being really kind of feral, and he lives in this place that's a lot like hell. And so she's like way out of her depth when she meets him, and their dynamic is so interesting, and the way they end up bonding and the way they end up falling in love was so interesting, and I just loved it. This is my second favorite in this series. My first one is definitely Lothair, then it would be Demon from the Dark. If I had to tell you which one to read other than Lothair, it would be Demon from the Dark, because this one has a lot of heart to it, because of the growth that Malcolm and Caro go through. And I just love this one, and it has such great vibes for the season. And honestly, this whole series have great spooky season vibes, and they all have Nyx in it. And if you have not read this book series, and so you haven't read Nyx, and you have to read the series, because of these characters. They are so well thought out, well integrated characters. This whole series has some of the best characters I've ever read. Anyways, that's my recommendation for a paranormal or a dark romance, because it is actually this one is actually very dark because of the themes that happened with Malcolm in his past. So thank you to everybody who collaborated on this video with me. This was a lot of fun, and I definitely got some really great recommendations. And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to all the collaborators on this video. And I hope you guys got some really great recommendations out of this, like I did. If you guys have any recommendations for us, please leave them down below. And if you made it this far in this video and you want us to let us know that you've been here, please leave me a cat emoji, because Miss Rosie has been helping me through this whole entire thing, and she's been kind of a pest. Anyway, as you can hear, the crinkling of the bag. And with Walter, he's been down there with her. Anyway, yep, there they go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, my friends, happy reading and have a great spooky season. Bye. Those two.